Hi, firsties. So we're going to start looking at 10 blocks. And to start us off, I wanted you to understand that these are ones, and we need 10 of these to make one 10 block. So for example, we have 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 ones equals one 10 block. Okay, so essentially there's 10 of these guys that make up one 10 stick. Okay, so part of today's lesson is a review of counting by tens. I know that you started working with counting by tens in kindergarten, but we haven't reviewed it too much in first grade yet. So we're going to practice counting by tens and then do some work with adding groups of tens. Okay, so I'm going to count these. Count along with me if you remember. We're counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so 10 blocks equals 100. There's 10 of these guys in the number 100. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to practice adding groups of tens. So what I mean by that is you're going to see two groups of tens, and then we're going to add them together to find a total. So for example, here's my first example. I'm going to add these two groups together. Okay, so in this group I have 1, 2, 3 tens, and in this group I have 1 10. Now they're worth more than one, they're each worth 10. So first, to figure out how many I have in each group, I need to count by tens. And I'm going to put this here so I can show you how the equation is going to look with it. Okay, so in this first group I have 10, 20, 30. So I'm adding 30 plus 110 is 10. Not 1, it's 10. Don't forget to write your 0 there. Equals blank. So 30 plus 10. So the way we're going to solve this is we're going to go back and we're going to count all of our tens, and then I'll show you a trick. 10, 20, 30, 40. The total is 40. Okay, if you look at the digit in the tens place, we have a 3 and a 1. The digits in the ones place are both zeros. These are called decade numbers. So decade numbers are every 10. They're the numbers that we hit or we say when we count by tens. Okay, so when there's a 0 in the ones place and we're adding two-digit numbers together, all you really have to look at is the number in the tens place. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So the answer is 40. Let's try another one. This time, I'm going to have this many tens in my first group and this many in the second group. Okay, so let's see what this will look like. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. Okay, let's count and see how many tens I have in the first group. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 groups of 10 equals 50. Plus, let's count our tens in the second group. There's 2 groups of 10, and let's see what that totals. We have to use our tens. 10, 20. So 50 plus 20 equals blank. That's what our equation is going to look like. All right. Before we go and we count all of them, just to check ourselves, let's see if you can remember what I told you in the previous equation. There are 2 decade numbers. There's 0 in the ones place in both of these. So 50 plus 20. Let's just look at the number in the tens place. We have a 5 and a 2. What does 5 plus 2 equal? 5, 6, 7. And if I add a 0 to the end of that, that would be 70. Let's see if that's what we get. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It worked. So 50 plus 20 is 70. Okay, let me show you something on today's assignment. You're going to find pages 99 and 100 in your math workbook. At the top, you're just going to count the 10 sticks and you're going to write the number below. So for example, this first one is 10. So you'll write 10. The next one is 20. And you'll keep going. So count all of these by tens. 10, 20, 30. And I'm not going to give you all the answers. I want you to keep going. So write your tens, your decade numbers below the tens. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to look at the two groups like I just did, and you're going to write the equation on this line. So you'll count the first group, write that number here, plus how many is in the second group, and then total, write your complete equation. And then on the back, we're going to talk about this. Okay, on the back side, on page 100, it looks a little different. So you're going to have two decade numbers that you're adding together. And I want to show you something. Okay, so if you look at number 6 as an example, we're going to add 10 to all of these. So 50 plus 10. If you want to draw 10 sticks, so just lines above the decade numbers to help your brain get in the habit and used to solving these quickly, you sure can do that. So 50 would be 5 tens. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50. Just double check. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Plus 10 is 110. Okay, and you can go back and count them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 50 plus 10 equals 60. Okay, remember what I showed you on the previous page? If you're adding two decade numbers and they're both 2 digits and we have a 0 in the ones place because they're decade numbers, then really if you look at the number in the tens place, if you add those two numbers, so 5 plus 1 is 6, and then put the 0 in the ones place, you can also figure it out that way. Let's try one more together. Number 7 says 10 plus 10. So 10 has a 1 in the tens place, so it's just 110 plus 10, again, as a 1 in the tens place, so another 10. Go back and add them. 10, 20. 10 plus 10 is 20. And it works how we just discussed as well, because 1 plus 1 is 2. And then if you remember to put your 0 in the ones place. Okay, down here, it's a little tricky. It says write the numbers. So on 14, it says 20 equals blank tens and blank ones. So you have to really look at this number. I would draw 10 sticks again, just to help your brain really see this. So 20 has a 2 in the tens place, so it's 2 tens. And it has a 0 in the ones place, so 0 ones. So this tells me that 20 equals 2 tens, and it has 0 ones. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for 15, 16, and 17. And then down here on number 18, it says draw tens to solve. Write the unknown number. This one's a little tricky. So it says blank plus 10 equals 30. So 30 is your total. Okay, so you're going to draw tens to solve this. How I would, the hint I would give you is start with 30. So 30 is 3 tens. There's a 3 in the tens place. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the total. We know that one of the partners is 10, so I'm going to circle that. That's 10. Ooh, you have 2 tens over here. What could that total? What could that equal? Okay, that's my little hint. Let's see if you can figure it out, but use this space right here to draw your tens. Okay, friends, when you're finished, please take pictures of both sides and submit in Seesaw. And we will also practice this a little bit on our morning Zoom. Bye, friends.